speeches, please. You should have been poured a glass of pink fizz, and if you drunk it, shame on you, because that's what Okay, to start up then, please put your hands together for the father of the bride.
Thank you. Is my mic on? Oh, it's not a microphone. Oh, it just pretends to be a microphone. Excellent. Well, I'll shout as loud as I can. I can't shout as loud as some of you guys out there, so let me know. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. And thank you all for being here today on what is a really special day, and it wouldn't be that special without all of you. So, a bit louder, I think. Bit louder. I'm doing my best. I'm only a small fella. I've got a mic, but it doesn't work. Sorry? Oh, that won't work, will it? Any good? Yeah. Oh, excellent. I'll start again then. Right, so, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you all for being here today on this special day. If you hadn't been here, then it wouldn't be quite as special. We'd have still enjoyed it, but okay. Are you all enjoying yourselves? Is this working or not? Yeah, okay, good. Okay, right. Well, this is my chance to say a few words about my beautiful princess of a daughter, Rebecca. Rebecca has always thought of herself as a princess, right from a nipper, and she really does believe it to be true. Yeah? I mean, princesses do drink cocktails and things, don't they? Yeah, that's what I thought. And for the most part, Becky has always acted like a princess. And I have to say, darling, that you've never looked more like a real princess than you do today. And I'll never forget it. Absolutely beautiful, didn't she? Yeah. I can only remember one other bride that's ever looked quite as beautiful to me as Rebecca does today. And that was nearly 30 years ago now. Thank you. So our Rebecca, beautiful on the outside. We've already agreed on that, I think. But more importantly, beautiful on the inside too. Yeah. Becky is smart, hard-working, very focused, and determined to be the best that she can be at whatever she does. These are all reasons that she's achieved the success that she has in her studies and in her career so far. Becky has always been a very caring person, very fun-loving, and always had a very strong sense of right and wrong, right from an early age. And she's never afraid to stand up for what she believes in. She's got real courage. These are the reasons that Wendy and I love her so very much, and are so very, very proud of you. Of our three great kids that we have, they all share some of these characteristics in varying degrees. Mostly all good. Mostly all good, in varying degrees. Becky has always been the most like me. George, the youngest, has always been the most like his mum, Wendy. And Charlie, middle child, has always had a really good mix of the two, which is not a bad outcome. It's funny how that's worked out. But being like me, what it does mean, Becky, is unfortunately you're not absolutely perfect. Yeah? He has been known to be a little bit lacking in the common sense department. People that know me will know I'm a bit like that. And can come out with some really corking sayings from time to time. I think one of the best ones that we always talk about is we took Rebecca to see Royal Holloway University in Egham when she was trying to choose which university to go to, and she stood in the middle of Egham High Street looking around, really, a real puzzled look on her face, and she turned to us and she said, "Well, so where is Surrey town from here?" There's no town called Surrey. The other one of my favourites, she's eaten a bowl full of prawn crackers. Tucking into these prawn crackers, suddenly looks up and says, "Do they smell fishy to you?" Oh, you got that one. Becky can be a little bit clumsy, accident prone as well. runs in the sort of the friendship group that she's got, I think. It's been evidenced lately. So, but you know, often bashing into desks and chairs at school. Recently, as a teacher as well as a student, nearly sliced the bottom of her toe off one year when she was much smaller, riding her bike in the garden with bare feet. Yeah. That was that was a bit of a panic session, that one. And some of my favourite memories really are the dance performances that Becky and Laura have taken part in at school. The number of times they tripped and fell sometimes, got out of sync, they just sort of looked at each other, laughed and carried on. So some fantastic memories for us there. So there's no doubt that Wendy and I are very, very lucky to have three such great kids that we are very proud of. And today, Wendy and I are happy to welcome someone else into the family that we can be proud of. It is you, Marcus, yeah. It is you. That was my comic pause. It's fair to say that I didn't feel this way at first. When Becky came home from a girls' holiday with a young foreigner in tow, easy. With a young foreigner in tow, with spiky blonde hair, strange accent, and lots of stories about various misadventures at school, and strange pastimes like cow tipping. He's very proud of that. He's telling me all about this just not after I've met him. And I'm thinking, yes, it's fair to say I was concerned.
What about the sheep?
Coming on to the sheep, don't worry. The other thing that disturbed me slightly, was the obvious Gavin and Stacey situation that we found ourselves in. And I just need to say at this point that I've never understood why everybody else thinks that Wendy is the perfect Pamela. Hey, remember what was said in church today? Yeah, love keeps no record of wrongs. So I should be all right with that. That was my favourite bit.
He's got it on his phone.
I'm going to remind Wendy of that. Anyway, it's also fair to say that there were two things in particular that impressed me right from the start with Marcus. The first thing was the fact that he was willing to try his hand at anything to earn a living. Sheep incineration was my all-time favourite. All-time favourite. But also, Marcus's confidence and his ability to get on with people. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. You know, it stood out, it shone out a mile. His ambition has driven him to pick up the grades he needed, get to university, get his degree, and more recently qualify as a financial advisor. And this, combined with his people skills, have set him on the path for a really successful career in sales and business. So all joking apart, I am now really, truly proud and happy to call you son-in-law.
Thank you.
And to call all you folks from foreign lands friends. Just to kind of build that bridge back again. What really strikes me about the true recipe for success that Becky and Marcus have got is not their individual strengths, not just their individual strengths, it's the fact that their strengths complement each other. When Marcus is having one of his big ideas, he gets carried away sometimes with these big ideas, Becky will keep his feet on the ground for him. One anyway. At least 1 foot on the ground is all you need, because some of those big ideas are going to fly. Yeah? If Becky's being a little bit cautious, a little bit concerned about the risk, Marcus will step in and give her the confidence to go for it. So this is why I am absolutely sure that together, Becky and Marcus will achieve everything they wish for, whatever that may be. So without going on any longer, I'd like to ask you all to stand and join me in a toast to this very special couple. To the bride and groom. Cheers.
Thank you. I'm just going to gob it off down the back.
Oh Christ.
That's all right, I think I might be able to reach the back. Alright. There you go. I thought you were friends. Can you all hear me at the back? Yeah? Alright. No? Oh, alright. What about now? Now?
Don't listen to that. You're not going to mind.
Shout with it.
Someone get that woman a drink at the back.
Hurry up. Have you stopped the clock?
When you're ready. Alright.
I'm ready.
Thank you, Mark, for the lovely speech. Really means a lot to the both of us. And thank you all for coming today. It's been a really, really wonderful day, and I know some of you have travelled a long, long way to be here, so thank you to everyone. We've been planning this wedding now for just over a year, and it's really felt like a lifetime, but we really couldn't have done it without the support. I don't know what to say to that. Someone call security, please. Anyway, on a serious note, please. So we really couldn't have done it without the support of many of you who sat in the room today. We'd like to take the opportunity to thank you, and there's going to be a couple of toasts during my speech. So, so please don't neck the whole glass of wine at the first toast. Not mention any names. Becky. Dobber does bottles of wine. So on behalf of me and my wife, Mrs. Docker, I'd really like to thank everyone who's travelled near and far to share our special day with us. We're really blessed to be surrounded with such fantastic friends and family. I'd like to start off by thanking my new in-laws, Mark and Wendy, for doing such a fantastic job with today. I'd like to thank you both for raising a beautiful, intelligent and special woman, and for giving me Becky's hand in marriage today. Traditionally, I'm supposed to thank you both at this point for welcoming me into your family, but this wouldn't be necessary because you've always made me feel welcome for many years now. You're both wonderful parents to Becky, and I've always thought and respected you both like you were my own parents. Looking back to 2008 when me and Becky first met, I can only imagine how difficult it was for you to palate that your hard-working, talented and very well-educated daughter had agreed to start dating some crazy unruly Welsh bloke whose full-time occupation is throwing dead sheep into a fire. So, what can I say? However, since then I've tried to work hard and lead by the example that you've both set, to make sure that your daughter's given the life that she deserves. Thank you all for both that you've done for me over the years and for always sticking by me. Whatever I can be proud of in me today, I've got you to thank for. I love you too, Adam. Myself and Becky are truly grateful for your involvement and your contributions in every single way in helping us prepare and organise for our special day. You've been there every step of the way with us. Your dedication has been touching, and you've spent countless hours organising and coordinating for this memorable day. Your dedication has extended as far as Mark even agreeing to drive a minibus of 11 heavily boozed Baywatch lifeguards for 6 hours to Devon. You all know who you are. But I was pleased to hear that no one got into difficulty in the water that weekend, because being rescued by someone, an overconfident, boozed up lifeguard with an inflatable penis, isn't a good day in anyone's book. They got out of Adam's drawer. So thank you for that, Mark, for taking them down. Thank you. Wendy's always been known for her creativity and her fine attention to detail, and has done an amazing job of taking much of the stress away from us both. She's even gone to the extra lengths of hand making our beautiful wedding cake over there. And also the very posh limoncello table favours which are on your tables for you all to enjoy today. So I can't begin to thank you both enough.
I like that.
If they're not already drunk. So for those of you who don't know, as Mark already said, Mark and Wendy will be celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary this September. They've truly set an example for us both to live by, and if our marriage is half as strong as theirs, then I'll be a really lucky man. So will everyone please join me in raising a toast to my new in-laws, Mark and Wendy. Cheers. Wendy. I'll say to that.
Just for getting that right. He didn't have to.
Strap him up with you, for Christ's sake, to get him out of here.
Gag him.
Sorry for 10 minutes.
Right, I'd also like to say a very big thank you to a kind, caring and a resilient woman, my mum. Mum, you look amazing today, and I'm truly grateful for the wonderful upbringing and everything that you've done for me. You've loved and you've supported me, and always stood by me through thick and thin. Even if it meant that you had to nod your head in agreement with my latest dodgy teenage hairstyle. Blonde spikes, whatever it was. Oh, come on, Rich.
Marcus.
No. You've always taught me the difference between right and wrong. And I can always remember being told off by my mum hundreds of times when I was misbehaving between the ages of 11 and 29. Mum, you deserve a medal for putting up with me, but I hope now that I've done you proud. You got gifts, Mother? Which one? We have got a gift for you, Mum. Which one is it? That one there? Is it not that one?
Yeah, it's that one.
It is that one. Here we go, Mum. There's a gift for you from me and Becky. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right, so will everyone also join me in raising a toast to my mum, my beautiful mum? Cheers. Kim, thank you. Cheers. Keep your cat calling down, please. It's my mum.
Down, boys.
Oh, God's sake. Right. Right, I'd also like to make a special mention to the bridesmaids and our gorgeous little niece Mia, who looks stunning today. I'm sure you'd all agree, so please give them a round of applause. Laura, Jess, Georgina, we thank you both, or thank you all, for being our friends and supporting us so loyally over the years that we've known you. You've done a wonderful job supporting Becky through the wedding planning, and you've organised a hen weekend which I'm sure she won't forget. Literally. Groomsmen, there's an unwritten rule of wedding etiquette that states that no one should look more handsome than the groom on the wedding day, so I'd like you all to thank you all for sticking to that. The scruffy gits. But on a serious note, I didn't catch that, speak up. But on a serious note, you're all a good bunch of acquaintances. Or mates, whatever. I'd like to thank you all for your support today and organising a very top stag do to Las Vegas, so thank you all. I'd also like to make a special mention for the rest of the guys here that aren't in the groomsmen party for making that trip. But I can honestly say that Becky didn't love me in the tight green Speedos and Jesus sandals half as much as you lot did. So thanks for that. I'd also like to thank Becky's brothers Charlie and George and her cousin Daryl. Give them a round of applause. They've worked tirelessly and they've done a great job today walking the bridesmaids down the aisle. And I'd like to thank you all for everything that you've done, even if it meant that you had to be roped in for waiter and staff at Becky's home hen do. So thank you all for that. But on a serious note, all three of you gents, you've done a really proud today. So thank you, all of you. So can you all please join me in a toast to the bridesmaids, the bridesmen and the groomsmen as well, please. So cheers to you all. Thank you. I'm getting there. We're nearly there. What I love about this family is that everyone's prepared to pull together to make a day special, no matter what their responsibility. I'd like to take a brief moment to thank Becky's Auntie Gillian, who's been the master of ceremony today. Otherwise known as Lady in Red. Lady in Red. You've made the day run so smoothly for us, and you've made sure all the stresses were taken away from us and our guests, so we may enjoy the day for what it really is. So once these speeches are over, you can get back to your usual self and getting on a piss on the rum and cokes by the pint with the rest of us. So cheers. Thank you, Gillian. Thank you for that. A few other little mentions as well. I'd like to say thank you for Joanne and Dan Price as well today for helping with the hair and the makeup today. So you've both done a fantastic job. And I truly do thank you for giving your time selflessly. So thank you so much to both of you. We have got some gifts for you actually as well. Where are they? They're down there. Come on, where are they? Joe? Pink one? This one?
Yeah.
Here we go, Joe. There's a little present for you from us.
That's for Dan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Where's Dan? Dan? Where is he? Come on, Dan. Come on. The only ticket holders won the raffle. There you go, mate. Thank you. Sorry?
That one and that one.
Who's that?
That's for Jill. And then the other.
Oh, sorry. And Jill, this is a present for you as well. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Thank you.
This was for Jill and Joe.
And Joe?
This was for Jill and Joe to get. No.
Which one?
That one.
This one? Who's that one for?
Jill and Joe.
Oh, right. Sorry, Jill, you're going to have to come back up. There's another one for you and Joe as
That's
well.
for you and Joe together.
For together.
For all your help you've done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Last of all, I'd really like to share my thanks to John Hall, gentleman in the corner over there. He's come all the way from South Wales, just like a lot of you, to take part in our marriage ceremony today. For those of you who don't know John, he was our local Baptist in my hometown in Caldicot in South Wales, before him and his family moved to the Rhondda Valleys more recently.
Oh. Like Morgan the Moon.
John has known me and my family and most of my friends here today for quite a long time. And it's really nice to have a familiar face to facilitate our marriage today. John used to run a local voluntary youth club in my village, which most of us here caused havoc at. We are sorry, John. We are. But John always earned the respect of the youth because he always took the time to get to know him. John once joked with me and said, "Marcus, I know enough stories about you that I could be your best man and your vicar." Fortunately, I didn't want to overload him with the responsibility today or ruin the glowing character reference that Ben's going to give me later. So. But I'd like to thank you and your wife Jackie for coming today, so thank you so much. And last but not least, it's over to the most important person here today, my beautiful wife. I want to tell you all about my wife and how amazing she really is. Becky only sees the best in people, and she's incredibly loving, selfless and caring. She always looks for the positives and is full of smiles and is kind to everyone she meets. She's always been my biggest supporter and has the patience of a Satan for putting up with me. All right, I'm not that bad. She's got an incredible passion for teaching, and her quick progression through her career over the last 6 years is really a testament to how remarkable she really is. She's got a heart of gold, but she does find it hysterical when someone falls over. Especially when that unfortunate person's me. But Becky, you look beautiful today. I want to thank you for agreeing to be my wife. You've made me the man I am today, and having you here with me after 10 years is by far my greatest achievement. We've got an amazing future ahead of us, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, and I love you very much. So please, will everyone be upstanding in joining me to raising a glass to my beautiful bride, Rebecca. Cheers. Cheers. Right, we are nearly there.
Oh, there he is.
Have a seat.
My boy.
I promise we're nearly there. It's the last page. Right, so I'm not going to bore you with any more bad jokes, as I'd like to leave that to my best man, Ben. As the best man, he's not had that much to do today, except for standing around looking good, and so far he's let me down on that, so. But he did a cracking dance earlier, I'll give him to that. He did make my day. But just on a final note, everyone, I'd really like to thank you all for coming today, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of the day with us for what it is. So cheers to you all. Thank you so much. Cheers. Do your best. Come on, Ben.
I've had a few Milos. Alright, sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me in the back? I'm not very good at projecting my voice. I feel like I've toned this down far too much following that.
That's only because you've had a couple of glasses.
I've had plenty of Milo. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start by saying how fantastic you all look today. Thank you. Especially the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, and even Marcus. But we can all agree that the beautiful bride has outshone us all. You look absolutely amazing today, Becky. On behalf of the bridesmaids, myself, these fine men and women, and Adam, I'd like to thank you, Marcus and Becky, for allowing us to be so involved in the most important days of your life. I know a huge amount of effort's gone in today, and I can only hope that apart from this speech, everything has exceeded your expectations. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Ben, and I have been asked to deliver the best man speech today. I'd also like to mention I'm a complete novice at public speaking, and have an overwhelming urge to prove it to you today. So if there's anybody else here who's feeling nervous, apprehensive and queasy at the thought of what lies ahead, it's probably because you just married Marcus Docker. I'm going easy on you. I've known Marcus since I was born, and our parents are best friends, so I had no choice in the matter. But luckily we became best friends. There's nothing I wouldn't do for Marcus, and there's nothing Marcus wouldn't do for me. In fact, we spend most of our time doing absolutely nothing for each other. Of course, a big responsibility for a man in my position is the speech itself. And as I've known Marcus for such a long time, there's a time-honoured tradition of dragging up embarrassing stories from his past. But if that's what you're looking for today, I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. The truth is, I've stood side by side with Marcus for many years now, through thick and thin. And in all that time, I've never seen anything but a man of integrity, honour, and impeccable good character. But if I'm going to be honest, it's because I was usually with him at the time, so I'm going to leave those stories well alone. Instead, I would have liked to regale you with stories of the stag do. However, the law of stag do's forbids me from doing this, and besides, Marcus's solicitor has advised caution until the charges have been fully investigated. So given as my options were limited, I asked some friends for advice on writing a speech.
Oh no.
Their advice was to try and come up with a theme. So what better way to show you how much Becky has improved this man than to give you an insight into his earlier years. So I got in contact with some of his old teachers at Caldecott Comprehensive. And here are a few of the replies. This first response was from Marcus's maths teacher, Mrs. Jones. It surprises me that Marcus is now a financial advisor. He always seemed to struggle with interest. Showing an interest in anything other than his hair. He never seemed to pay attention to anything I said, but he always perked up when I mentioned pie. Congratulations both on your biggest day, and for his wife's sake, I hope Marcus is better at multiplication now than when he was age 16. Sorry about this, a bit of a time delay. This next one's from Marcus's woodwork and technology teacher, Mr. Titlow. Real name. Marcus was always a very enthusiastic lad, especially so regarding the subject of woodwork. Unsurprisingly, he was a natural at handling wood. But he always had a problem telling the difference between inches and millimeters. He was always willing to help his friends with their tools. Congratulations and all the best to the happy couple. And last but not least, his PE teacher, Mr. Reed. He's a good man, this man. He's a good man. Marcus is the best sort of man, always striving to do his best. He was always keen to play with the boys. And he would do anything for his teammates. He made a real difference to the rugby team by playing for the football team. He really was useless in every position. Send my best wishes to his bride. There were a few more responses, most of which I'm unable to read out, especially the responses from his old chemistry and business studies teachers. I'll let him elaborate that on later over a drink. But I will state there was a general tone of concern and sympathy for Becky in the responses. Additionally, You may not have known that Marcus has always loved playing pool and snooker. In fact, he was actually quite good. He represented his country playing pool, and to confirm, that's Wales and not England. And I'm sure this had something to do with long shafts and a table full of balls. And I'm confident this is why he's such good friends with Adam and Ellis, who I understand share a similar interest.
They haven't got long shafts, sir.
The balls.
On your balls.
Ginormous balls. He also loved to change his hair due to the newest style. He loved David Beckham so much, he tried to keep up with his hairstyles.
Oh, that was my influence. I loved him too.
The,
I'm a Beckham
I'm going to
fan.
blame this on here.
the most memorable of these were his mullet with blonde highlights and his slick back held in place with a hairband. Although you may find this hard to believe with his current hairline. Battle. I do have one story about Marcus that I'd like to share though. And it's probably not what you'd expect, because it's a love story. The story of how a horrible man named Marcus met the beautiful and bright Becky. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin.
Beauty and the Beast.
Once upon a time, on a lad's holiday to Zante, a young and possibly naive Essex girl embarked on a journey to a foreign land. On arrival to the airport, the young girl and her parents set eyes upon the creature named Marcus.
Actually, I think there was one of you.
Hey, hold on. With all of his wonderful and amazing friends at the airport. Our young heroine's parents turned to her with concern, saying, "I hope you're not going on holiday with that lot." Unfortunately for them, this was only the start. Because not only was Marcus on the same flight, but he was sat behind Becky on the plane too. And upon landing, believing the agony to be over, she breathed a sigh of relief, only to discover they were sharing a hotel and with rooms adjacent to each other too. It was either fate or Becky should be seriously concerned. Fact of the matter is that as soon as Marcus set eyes on Becky, he fell in love. He proceeded to spend every minute he could with her, to which all of his friends were grateful for. To him, it was a fairy tale romance. He's seen himself as Becky's Prince Charming, but in reality, it was more like Beauty and the Beast. They left the Greek island with a budding romance. As hard as it is to believe, Marcus has only improved as a man since meeting Becky. She taught him how to read, write, and count, helping him to get his qualifications he needed to get into university. It took a while, but he eventually integrated into civilization, leaving his cave behind, and he moved to the big city, mainly so he could pester her further. This in turn led to his breakthrough into the state agency, then onwards and upwards into a successful career as a financial advisor. And it's taken him 10 long years, but he has managed to wear Becky down, and she has eventually succumbed to his charm. But on to what we all know will be a happily ever after. So all joking aside, I want to say how much of a privilege it is to have been asked to be one of your best men. I couldn't wish for a better friend. You are one of the kindest, funniest, most generous people I know. Becky is as lucky to have you as you are to have her. So ladies and gentlemen, let's raise a toast to the happy couple. That's all of you, mind. Let's raise a toast. And remember,
Finish it.
and remember, marriage isn't about finding someone you can live with. It's about finding someone you can't live without. To the newlywed, Mr. and Mrs. Docker. Cheers. Cheers.
Let's get drunk.
Hey!